Hello, everybody, and welcome to the people at home, and welcome to the people here in New York. So thank you so much for coming. So we're in parashat Shoftim. Parashat Shoftim, as we know, this is the parashah, Shoftim in judge, judge. And it says Shoftim v'shotrim, תיתן לך בכל שעריך, you should put in every gate. Now, Shoftim mean judges, Shotrim mean police. So we have two types of forces that need to be there when we make a court case or police case and whatever that we need to do. But according to Chassidut, Michael, toda raba. Thank you. According to Chassidut or Kabbalah, everything has a different meaning. What is that judges and police? So the way they look into it as if this is basically, the five senses. Your eyes, your ears, those are the shotrim, those are the judges. So when you put the judges in your eyes and the shotrim, what is the judge does? He judge if the situation is positive or negative. What is the police does? Police is Otzah Lapor, is the one who manifests what the judge say to do. So he's more tough, more dinim. And the idea is that the five senses, if we think about it, it's very important to have five senses. We're using it all the time. But sometimes the five senses are, I think a lot of time, they're misleading us. We see somebody to seem perfect and they're not. Or we see somebody to be like homeless, but they're actually righteous. So we don't know. So the five senses can be kind of bribing us. And that's why it says, Lo tikach shochad. So the way we look at the parashah, we don't look at the parashah just as it's written. Shotrim, Shoftim, policemen, and judges. We don't look at the parashah like only from a point of shochad, that you pay bribe to the judge and then he favor you, or to the police. We look at things from a point that you can basically be bribed by your own senses. When you look at things, when you are judging people, you got to be careful. Now, why is this parashah always is before Rosh Chodesh Elul? We know that the month of Elul is coming. And in the month of Elul, according to Rabbi Isaac Luria, Ari HaKadosh, he writes in Pri Etz Chaim Chelek Bet, he writes in the beginning, before the month of Elul, he writes like this. He says, as you're approaching the month of Elul, meaning as you, like now, where Wednesday night is Rosh Chodesh, so as we're approaching the month of Elul, a person has to be careful from akpada v'kaas, two ingredients to make it to Rosh Hashanah. Akpada means being meticulous. Kaas is anger. Two things in the month of Elul you have to be careful not to do. Now, normally, the people who are born under the influence of the Virgo, what we call Virgo, we're going to give a lecture this Thursday, are usually more detail-oriented people. They are the mohalim, they are the one who do Brit, they are the one who write mezuzot, Sefer Torah. They have that capability, they see details. So the idea, as you approach the month of Elul, meaning right now, lower your eyes. Don't judge. Don't judge other people. You want to judge yourself, you want to see what's wrong with you, work on that. Second thing, don't be too meticulous in people you know. I don't know about you, but sometimes I can talk about myself, I can be too meticulous about details that are not so important at that moment, but I can be detail-oriented person for myself or with people around me. And Dari said, Rabbi Isaac Luria said, please don't do it from this point on, at least till Yom Kippur. At least till Yom Kippur. Don't correct people. Now, again, it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. And that's what Parashat Shoftim will always be before the month of Elul. It's not an easy task. Again, when you try doing it and you fail, don't hate yourself. It's not easy. So don't be too meticulous on yourself as well. And especially with people that you love. Especially with people that you care about. Okay? Lo akpada velo kaas. Now, I will share with you a story, maybe that sometimes when you tell a story, the story kind of stay with you. And it helps you to understand how powerful and how needed is not to judge and not to be too meticulous, not to be angry. The story it's about a young man who was very talented in the study of Torah, but also super talented in business. And that young man, super good looking, smart, everything. So when he's already 17, he's already studied the Shas, he studied Kabbalah, he studied so many things. It was like, wow. And the rabbis all love him in the village. It was it. The village was very poor village, not a lot of money, not a lot of food, but it was a good village for study the Torah. As he growing up, they realized he's genius in business as well. So in that village was a very beautiful land that they tried to buy. But it was a lady, a very vicious lady, that didn't like Jewish people very much. So she made it very difficult for the people to make it, to any spiritual people, religious people to make it. They decided all together that we have this young man. He's very wise. He can get us this piece of land in a good price. And then we can build homes, we can build a mikveh, we can build different things. So they send him. And he started to get friendly with her, he started to negotiate. And slowly, he got the deal. He got the deal, he gave them the land, they start building. But in the same time, he got friendly with her. He got very friendly with her. And she slowly get him out of spirituality. Slowly, she get him out of spirituality. They got married. He was done with Torah. He was done with Kabbalah. He was done with the Talmud. He was done with everything. And he went with her. In the same time, she convinced him it's time to take the land back from them. They didn't pay the right price. And they become a little bit vicious for the Jewish neighbors. And everybody started hating this guy. Hating him, hating his wife, hating everything about him. Years later, 20 years later, this guy is walking in a marketplace. And he realized that he forgot that it's Yom Kippur. You see, everybody, all the Jewish people are wrapping up the business and they go into Yom Kippur, everybody get ready, they go mikveh, and it reminded him that he was once that Jewish person, that close to the old rabbi. He was once was that one who know everything. And it was sad. It was a spiritual awakening for him, but he didn't know what to do. So he remembered that there was a Kabbalist in that village that was always teaching him at night. So he said, I know at night these Kabbalists wake up. I'm going to go knock on the door and he will help me. So he knock on the door of the Kabbalist. The Kabbalist doesn't recognize him. It's many years ago. And he said, yeah, come in. You want to study with me? He said, yes. As he walked in, he said, before you teach me, I want to tell you who I am. So you remember, it was young guy. He said, don't remind me that's broke my heart. It broke, people die because of it. It was the nightmare of our village. So I don't want to talk about that guy. So he looked at him and said, Rabbi, that guy, it's me. The rabbi get angry and said to him, get out of here. I don't want to see your face anymore. I closed the door. The gentleman go back to his wife and he's crying. He doesn't know what to do, how to come back to spirituality, how to come back to the Torah. Very difficult. But he have some courage and he decided to come back 1 month later. He go again. Akshan, stubborn. He knocked on the door of the rabbi. The rabbi saw him. He said, we had a conversation on that. I can take you in. It's not about mercy or not mercy. You destroyed the whole village. I can't let that happen. It's not good for me, not good for you. Just get out of here. You don't understand? And he take his stick, his staff that he's walking with, and he put it into the ground. And say, you see, the same that piece of wood can no longer give flower, give almond, give fruit. The same is with you. You done. Because the thing you did for this village, people died because of you. People lost their business. People lost everything. There's no hope for you. Okay? And the guy left crying. The morning, the rabbi wake up and he go outside. You remember he left his stuff there. He look at the stuff and there is flour on it. There is fruit on it. The rabbi said, oh my God, what have I done? I judged that person so badly. And Hashem, God, the creator, accept him. Shame on me. How can I judge him like that? So he starts saying, where do I find him? months go by, and he approached the rabbi again. He came at night again. And as he knocked at the door, the rabbi grabbed him in, walk in. He said, my yomi, your mind. He said to him, how come now you welcome me? He said, there is a sign from above that definitely it was my bad, my mistake. Come in and we study Torah. I said, but what about my life? I don't know what to do. He said, I also don't know what to do. But let me tell you one thing. We study Torah together, something will happen. Something somehow would happen. I'm telling you this story because we are before the month of Elul. If there is one thing we cannot do, we cannot judge people, we cannot be meticulous on people, and we cannot get angry. I'm not saying we're going to make it this way. But I'm saying if we can do those three things, it be promised to you that when you go to Rosh Hashanah, in heaven, they look at you as if there's nothing wrong that you do. But if you go into Rosh Hashanah and you're judging people, and you're being too meticulous, and you be too angry, also the angel of heaven look at your case in a different way. There is a file. On Rosh Hashanah, they take everybody's file. This year, we're lucky, we're very lucky, because the first day of Rosh Hashanah, what we call Din Akashia, it's on Shabbat. So it's a free ticket. But the second day, what's called Din Arafia, this is on Sunday. So that's when we need to work very hard, very hard. Whoever know the kavanot, whoever know the meditation, whoever doesn't know, just see me, and I will help you with that. What's to meditate, how to meditate on the shofar. On the second day, we need to fight. If during the year, or at least during the months of Elul, you keep judging people, you keep getting angry with people, you be meticulous, even the people who hurt you, unfortunately, the file that they're going to pull out is your negative file. But if in Elul, you are not looking, even in your family member. Remember, the Ari said, especially with your family member, which is very difficult. It's in your home. And people bother you, just 30 days. 30 days, we have to keep our mouth shut. We have to keep our eyes, ears. I don't want to know. You have to learn to do that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. We talk later, after Yom Kippur, we talk. See me after Yom Kippur. Because, and I'm sorry to say it again, as the Ari right, it's going to happen. Meaning, opportunity will approach you. Things will happen. Things will knock on your door. Remember this story as understanding that we cannot judge or being meticulous or being angry. Let's go now directly to the Arizal. But before we go there, the Ari talk about verse number 8 in Shoftim. It's a ki fale mimecha. Okay? When it's been difficult for you to make a decision right from wrong. What do you need to do? Now the pasuk go, ki famle mimecha davar lemishpat ben dam ledam. If there is a court case and you don't know what to do between blood and blood, meaning people hurting each other, what exactly you need to be doing? So the Ari take it all to a different level of understanding. The Ari doesn't take it into a place of just the way it's written, literally. No, the Ari said, no, it's not what you think it is. And here we go, I'm going to read to you. I'm going to put the time in front of me this time, so I know when to start the meditation this time. Good. It says like this, אמרו רבותינו ז"ל, במדרשות ובזוהר חדש, ששאלו מלאכי השלום לקדוש ברוך הוא. The angels of heaven ask God, בשעת החורבן, in the middle of the destruction of the temple, the angel asked him, ריבונו של עולם, master of the world, כתבת בתורתך, you wrote in your own Torah, ושפך את דמו וכיסהו באפר. There is a rules in the Torah that when you slaughter an animal, you have to do כיסוי דם באפר. Those of you who ever did chicken for kaparot, you should be doing it, but I'm not here to scare you, the animal lover, I'm not, but I do it, I usually do it if you want to know where and all this and that, we do that. And you do the chicken, and you have to do it in a specific time, it has to be b'ashmoret haboker, it's about 1 hour before sunrise, or not, dawn, it's called ashmoret haboker. And when the blood follow the floor, you have to take afar, you have to take sand, and you say, לכיסוי דם באפר, it's a bracha, you have to do it. It's a halacha, it's one of the halachot. וכאן כתיב, שפכו דמם כמים. And here the Jewish people been slaughtered by the Roman in the second temple, and nobody covered their blood. Hashem, you wrote it, the angel came as a complaint. So you wrote it in your Torah. כי דמם בתוכה. כתבת בתורתך. Also you wrote in your Torah, אותו ואת בנו לא תשחטו ביום אחד. There is a rule, you cannot slaughter the cow and the child of the cow in the same day. וכאן כתיב, הבנים נשחטים. Here it's written that they slaughter the father and the children in the same day. כתבת בתורתך, look how many complained the angels of God came to him. ציווה הכהן ופינו את הבית. It's written in your Torah that if there is nega babait, nega means like leprosy of the house. There is nega babait. Meaning in the old days when they come to Eretz Canaan, when they move into the land of Israel, it was negaim. Negaim meaning that there is leprosy in the house. But the Zohar said, the Zohar writes that negaim in parashat Betzorah, that negaim is actually a good sign. If you have some problem in your house, that means that the problem went for the stone. It didn't go for the people who live there. So what does it say? It says that pinu et habayit. You have to empty the house and then burn the house or destroy it. וכאן וישרפו בית האלוקים. Here, your temple, Hashem, your temple, they didn't let us take the stuff out. They just burn it and destroy it. כל כלי מחנה להשחית. So what do you think God will answer right now the people, not the people, the angels that ask him this question? What will be the answer for that? אמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, כלום, יש שלום בעולם? He tell the angel, I would like to ask you a question. Is there peace in the world? In this world down there, do you have peace among you? Look at this, it's almost like argument of Gemara between two groups. That's why it's very important for a person to study Gemara, because he will understand the argument that you can bring up there. Oil ve'en shalom, en klum. God answers, say, en shalom? You have no peace down there? There's nothing there. En shalom, and God answered to the angel. You have no shalom between people. You don't have to get along. En klum. I don't need to tell you what's going on right now in Israel. Everybody's this, Sephardic, Ashkenazi, what do you call it, religious, not religious, everybody start with their opinion. רמזה לנו התורה בפסוק זה, כי יפלא ממך דבר למשפט בין דם לדם. Tell them God, in this week parashah, God Dvar Torah. This is God Dvar Torah to the angel. He say, this week parashah, it say, if you will be wonder what to do about ben dam ledam, between blood to a blood, aynu v'shafach et damo. He say, from here we will learn about kisui dam ba'afar, meaning what do you do with the blood. Ben din ledin, aynu otov et no, between judgment to judgment, translate into between father and son. Ben nega lenega, meaning the thing that there is in the house. Aynu v'tziva kohen. This is min nega lenega. So in the pasuk chet, in verse 8, you have all those three questions that the angel asked and all the three answers that God gave. והתשובה לכל זה, what is the continuation of the pasuk chet? דברי ריבות בשעריך. A talk of fight. ריבות is lariv. Lariv, that's why it's called rabbi. Rav is fighting. He's fighting with his inclination. That's why he's a rabbi. A rabbi is not somebody with diploma. Rabbi is somebody who's fighting with his inclination. יש רב, יש רבן, יש רבי. The Zohar talk about תיקוני הזוהר. תיקוני הזוהר talk about what is Rav in תיקון 21. So you push it out. You kind of fighting it. That's Rav. התשובה לכל זה דברי ריבות בשעריך. God is telling the angel, you have fight in your own gate. Sorry. שעל ידי המריבות, God answered to the angel, because of your fighting, והיעדר השלום, and lack of peace, שבהם גורם לכל זה. You are causing all this chaos. Meaning, God is trying to tell us something incredible through the angel. As Rabbi Chaim Vital explained it here. Say, listen, I want to give you everything. I'm a God of mercy. I'm the God of 13 midot, 13 attributes. But there is one thing that can prevent that blessing I want to give you. Divrei rivot b'sha'arecha. You have too much fighting within your gate. You don't get along. You don't know how to create peace. So when you look at people who are called themselves spiritual or religious or whatever you want to call, you have to ask one thing. Do you know how to make peace between people? You don't? Very nice. Wear tzitzit. Wear three tzitzit. Wear talit. Wear big kippah. Make the beard grow long. Make a peot. Very nice. Do you know how to make peace? No. Katuv. So my words. Katuv. הוא מסיים, וקמת ועלית למקום של ידי ירושלים, and then the pasuk continue, pasuk tet, and then you're gonna go and go to Jerusalem. Why דווקא Jerusalem? עיר שחוברה לה יחדיו. You want to know where you can find unity? In Jerusalem. שבה נעשו כנסת ישראל חברים. The last place where the Jewish people were friends and united was in Jerusalem. Last place. But how do you do it? We are not in Jerusalem, and we are, I mean, until you don't get out of the building, you still continue in Jerusalem. It's the five senses who mislead us, right? ועל ידי התורה יתאחדו ויתווך ביניהם השלום. Say, I don't want a regular peace, Hashem said. There is peace between two people who eat hummus together. Everybody know what hummus, right? Or techine, or falafel, or sushi. How are you, Jonathan? Very good, George. Very nice. Can you pass me the Diet Coke? Oh, yeah. זה נחמד, זה יפה מאוד, זה נעים מאוד, nice to meet you, I like your shirt, I like your jacket. No. זה לא תיווך אמיתי. It's not the real united. He say, על ידי התורה יתאחדו. You have to take two people, at least two people, who study Torah, and that's bringing them that unity we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for two people sitting, study Torah together. Don't worry about it. Eventually it will catch up. This is the secret. Hashem gave us the Torah. Why? Why in every Masechet that you finish today, we have Senior Sofer, who did the Siyum, Baruch Hashem, for everybody, and Masechet Gittin, thank you very much. And you know, usually when you finish Masechet, you have to say that Hashem yevarech et amo b'shalom. You have to say that pasuk. You have to say, לא מצא הקדוש ברוך הוא כלי מחזיק ברכה לישראל כמו השלום. Hashem didn't find a better vessel that hold blessing for Am Israel than what? Shalom. Shalom. Such a simple word. And this is the one thing, for some reason, we have a difficult time to bring it to the universe. We don't know how to get along. And we always have reason. I mean, let's try, and I'm going to give you a challenge for the month of Elul. I'll give you a challenge. We have a dream. I have a dream. My personal I have a dream is get the all rabbi of Upper East Side together in one room and make the Rosh Hashanah together. Let's do it. No more you, me, this, everybody together unite. That will be a challenge somehow. No more territory. We got to bring John Lennon from the grave. He has that song, no more country or no more border. He have words like this. No more country, no more words. Imagine this is. No more the limitation. Difficult. We got to bring together. When we talk together, we love all mitzvot. We love mitzvot. Oh, what a wonderful mitzvah. But can we do, when I read it, I said, I have to share it because this is God's words to the angel. It cannot be more than that. He's telling us what to do. He's telling us. You have to find unification between you. Through Torah. That's it. I don't ask you for a lot. And that's the one thing which is very difficult to do. Let's continue with that idea. I'm so excited that I shared that with you. You have no idea. This is important. The second part is how to get there. We need to find out how to get there. Let's say we know we lost. We know it's difficult to bring people together. By the way, in LA, one Shabbat on Pico, I don't know if you know Los Angeles, they have a big street called Pico. They closed the street of Pico and they brought all the rabbis together of LA. They make long table in the entire street, table for Shabbat. It was done by a gentleman by the name of Ishai Gabai, God bless his soul, and he organized, he was pushing everybody, and they put tables after table after table after table, and everybody ate together. The police was surrounding the whole area. I'm telling you, you're walking there, Mashiach, Gan Eden, this is it, Bet HaMikdash, Kol Tov. That's the goal. Just want to share that with you. Anyway, another mitzvah that has been written in this week's parashah, you should read this parashah because there are so many beautiful mitzvot, is Melech. To put Melech. Usually, you need to know that Bnei Israel, the king of Bnei Israel, of the Israelite, is God. we're not supposed to have king. But in one point, the Israelite, the Jewish people, decided that they want king like other nation. I don't know if you know the story. And they came to Samuel the prophet, and said, we want a king too. We want a king. We want a king, almost like people holding a baseball card. I also want that, I want that, I want that. So they choose Shaul, a king by the name of Shaul, King Saul. I'm sorry, in English it's called Saul. King Saul. So the mitzvot of how a king should behave in a Jewish religion is a very different idea of kings from every other religion. If you go to England, they have king. I think Sweden have still king. There is still country who have kings. No use for them, but the king, they put them there and they sit on the chair and they feed them with some food and the king. But in the old days, king used to be very important. They make decision, they are the judge, they are, I don't know, Louis the something, they have Louis this and Louis 16 and 17 and 18. You have like, almost like a good cognac with the years, how long it lasts, you know? It's true, there is Louis cognac like this. So that's how king used to be. When it comes to the Jewish king, are totally different rules. You need to remember is not number one. That's the beginning of a king. You want to be a king of Israel? You're not number one. You study like everybody else Torah. You have to do the mitzvot. You have to do everything. And you have to carry the book of Devarim or the book of Haazinu, two opinion, with you wherever you go and read it, Mishneh Torah. This is king of Israel. But there is one mitzvah which is all Rabbanim agree, a weird mitzvah they give the king to do. Very weird mitzvah. Lo yarbelo susim. First, who is the king? Who is the king in nowadays? Why do we need to read it? You are the king. After you're capable to bring peace between your brother and sister, you are the king. מה זה מלך? What is the initials of the word מלך? ראשי תיבות. מוח, לב, יפה, כבד. מוח, לב, כבד. Meaning brain, heart, liver. The brain representing your spirituality, your heart representing your emotionally, how you connect to God emotionally, and the kaved is your passion, your desire. Now, if it go the other way around, first your desire, then the heart, then the brain. In Hebrew, there is a word called klum. You are nothing. You are nothing. You are zero. If you go after your desire, then after your emotion, then after your spirituality, you're nothing. So what is the connection? Lo yarbelo susim. And my son brought me a very wonderful, to my opinion, Kabbalist, but my son called him a Hasid, but I think it's a Kabbalist. It's called Mea Shiloach. I don't know if you ever heard of Mea Shiloach. I think it's a Kabbalist. My son called him a Hasid. I don't care. For the peace reason, we agree on that. So it's a Lo yarbelo susim. Shelo yashiv et ha'am Mitzrayim. So he doesn't take his people into Egypt. Now let's say you are the king now. I mean, queen, I'm sorry. Ladies, you're the queen, kings and queen. Don't have too many horses as king and queen, so you don't take the people back to Egypt. I don't think anybody here who live in New York City thinking about, maybe I should move to Egypt. I never heard somebody in New York say, I think Egypt, the real estate is kind of good. Next to the Nile, you know, why not? So what is that Mitzrayim? Let's understand Mitzrayim. The word Mitzrayim comes from the word tsar. Tsar, narrow-minded, like narrow-minded. The word paro, Pharaoh. What is paro? Oref. The Arizals call it oref. Oref is the neck. It's the narrow part of your body. If you don't have time to wear a pants, you go into Macy's, you want to buy a pants, you can know your size based on the neck. I can teach you after that how to do it. You can exactly know the size of your neck. You don't know that? I can teach you that. This is how you measure. Yeah, exactly. Very simple. Everybody know that. So those of you in a rush, put the pants there, you know exactly. Because that's the narrow part of your body. That's the narrow part of your body. And that's why Pharaoh was holding the Jewish people in the neck. In the neck. That's where he's holding us. That's why Ashkenazi usually put a chicken neck on the ke'ara, on the plate. Seder plate, and burn it, they burn the Pharaoh, but we're not going to go into Kabbalah too much now. So what is Mea Shiloach White? About the king, again, you're all king and queen, don't forget. It's a לא תוספון לשוב בדרך הזה עוד, ואמר מea Shiloach, שמרגיל את עצמו באיזו טובה אשר קשה לו להיפרד ממנה. You want to know what is a king and a queen? Don't get used to something you enjoy too much that you can't let it go. Can't let it go. When I came to America first, I remember they invited me to a restaurant. I didn't know the rulings in America, how you're supposed to behave, manners of tables. In my country, at least the way I grew up, when you go to a restaurant, everybody orders a small dessert for themselves. So what happened? We are sitting around the table, and somebody ordered dessert. I didn't understand that concept for everybody. And it was my favorite dessert. It's called crème brûlée. I don't know if you know what it is. It's a French dessert. I think it was created in heaven and then it came down here, you know. And it used to be a restaurant. It's before your time. Maybe it's called my favorite dessert. It used to be on 40 something. It was only dessert. In the beginning, it was only dessert. Then it became a restaurant. I don't know if it exists, but many years ago. So I remember they put the crème brûlée. It's kind of big. And there is spoon. You know, me with my little addiction, I put the spoon in and slowly put the plate a little bit closer to me. And I start digging because I don't understand why people are waiting. You know, it's going to get cold and I'm eating and I'm eating. And I remember the person next to me was a nutrition. And he said to me, you really love sugar? I said, no, I don't think I love sugar, but I love that. Whatever it's that, I love it. He said, באיזה טובה שקשה לו להיפרד ממנה. Sometimes there is good things that happen in your life, but you can't let it go. So what do you do? And I'm taking it in now to Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, a founder of all the Kabbalah of our time. And Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag is everything that I spread in my study, in my YouTube and everything else, based on the knowledge of Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag. Baal HaSulam, they call him Baal HaSulam. And look what he writes about that pleasure that we can't let go sometimes. Ve'incha motze, incha with A, you will find, asher or ha'ta'anug hu avi ha'chaim. You want to know what move you? Pleasure move you. When you know where pleasure is, that's where you go. You see where there is cake. You see where you can be recognized to be a great person. That's what moves us. You see the sushi, some of you like salmon, some of you like tuna, some of you like spicy. It gives pleasure to you. So pleasure is how human beings are moving. When you look people in the street, right? In New York, you can do it. You can go a high-rise building, look down. And you see like people moving like ants. They're moving. Where are they going? They're going to find their pleasure. Some going to eat, some going home, some going back to the children, some going to a doctor to find pleasure for the disease to go away. אינך מוצא אשר אור התענוג הוא אבי החיים, is the father of all life. אמנם, but, חוק זה אינו נוהג זולת בתענוג שהוא מושפע לכללות הקומה. There is two types of pleasure, רב אשלג said. אבל בתענוג דפירודה, כלומר בתענוג שמתקבץ ובמקום לחלק נבדל של קומת הבעל חי, there is two types of pleasure. There is pleasure of a human being, there is a pleasure of an animal that we have within us. A pleasure of an animal that we have within us is when we are looking for pleasure that lasts for a moment. We need it now. We need to smoke a cigarette now. We need to have a cake now. We need other things now. We need recognition now. We need the girls that I'm dating to say that she loves me now. We need the guy that I'm dating to call me back and to say I'm interesting now. It's called ta'anug de piruda, a pleasure of separation. אז אנו מוצאים בו דין הפוך. דהיינו, אם יש לו מקום לקוי בבשרו, I will give you an example, say Rav Ashlag. Somebody has issue with his skin. Mosquito, a cat. Start itching it. התובע אותו לגרד ולחכך. That area forcing you to scratch it a little bit. You gotta scratch it a little bit. Mosquito, there is a little pleasure in it. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, it's great. והנה פעולת החיכוך, that act of scratching it, מביאה לו גם שכרו בצידה. You're getting a reward for that, you feel good. שברגש עימה תענוג ברובה ברדיפה כבירה. You feel like you have to chase that. You can't stop, you gotta do it more and more. אמנם בתענוג זה טיפת סממה וכרוכה. With this pleasure, there is a drug of death within this little pleasure. בעקבו. שבאים לו ימשול על יצרו, if the person cannot control his inclination, his negativity, וישלם את התביעה הרדופה, and you feel like you have to pay when the skin asks you to scratch it, נמצאים התשלומים מגדילים עוד את חובו. It's beautiful language in Hebrew. I wish I could translate it that good. Then you find out that your payment getting worse every second that you scratch it. Your payment getting worse and worse. כלומר, לפי מידתו של השגת התענוג מהחיכוך, as much as pleasure that you have from scratching, כן יתרבה עליו הליקוטה. More and more and more, it's getting worse and worse and worse. More pleasure you have, more payment you gotta pay. ויתהפך התענוג למחוב. Then that, whatever used to be pleasure, become painful. ובתחילה, שוב להתרפות נולד עם היחד תביעה חדשה לחיכוך. ובידה יותר גדולה מקודם. And as you want to cure it, it gets worse. You want to scratch it even more. ואם עדיין אינו מושל ביצרו, if you cannot control yourself, שוב משלם די התביעה, נמצא גם הליקוטה הולכת ומתרבה עליו. It's getting worse and worse and worse. עד שמביאה לו טיפה של מרה בסופו, until it give you that drug of death, שמרעלת כל אדם שבאותה חי. That poison your entire blood. ונמצא שמת על ידי קבלת התענוג. And it's found that he died from that little pleasure that satisfied him or her. מפני שהוא תענוג דפירודה. Because that type of pleasure is a pleasure of an animal kingdom within us that we cannot let go. המקובל רק לחלק נבדל של הקומה. It's momentarily pleasure that is belong only to part of you, to the hand, to the skin, to the leg, very little part. ועל כן פועלת המוות בעקומה והפכים מהתענוג המושפע לכלל הקומה כאמור. So this is how the Samech Aleph, the dark side, is operating. What do we learn from that, my friend? We learn from that as we develop that point of the king, remember the king, the whole concept of the king, not to go back to Egypt. I mean, some of you still believe, I'm sure when you do Pesach, that the Jewish were a slave in Egypt. I'm sure you believe in it, right? Yes, of course, yes. Of course. I mean, what kind of slave say, let's go back? The entire time with Moses, let's go back. Let's go back. What kind of slave says, זכרנו את הקישואים והאבטיחים. We remember the watermelon, the onion, it was חינם. Look at if you don't believe me, go to the Torah. חינם. Egypt was free. You don't have membership. It was free onion, free watermelon, food stamp. It was great. It was amazing. That's not a slavery that you would be thinking about. You know what type of slavery? It's similar, those of you familiar with addiction or 12-step, it was similar to the idea of addiction. We were addict. עבדים היינו לפרעה בארץ מצרים. We were עבדים to the concept. Not like a lot of people try to look at the History Channel. Where can you find a Jew building the pyramid? Well, it's got to be that slavery. No, it was much worse. Way worse. It was in the mind. We couldn't let go. So for Moses to get us out of Egypt through the words of God, you know how difficult it need to be? It need to hit Pharaoh 10 levels, which 10 levels in Kabbalah called 10 Sefirot. Each level of hitting from the blood till Makat Bechorot is to remove this influence of Pharaoh on us, that addiction, that slavery. And for that reason, Rav Ashlag writes to us something incredible. Rav Ashlag is telling us, I want to be a king. You wouldn't be a queen, like Mea Shiloach is writing to us. You need first to think about Egypt. Where is your Egypt? Where is your Egypt? What type of Egypt you have? What are you addicted to? Addiction, it doesn't have to be drugs or food. Addiction can be recognition. Some of us, we live for recognition, especially now in society. I mean, we have Facebook, Instagram, what's the other one? TikTok. And all the other incredible stuff. And it's incredible. Somebody put like to you, you feel like, finally, I'm trying so hard, I got one like. This is time for me to recognize. Recognition is addiction. Approval is addiction. As a father, I want my children to approve of me as a father. As a kid, I want my father approval. It's all day long. That's also an addiction. So the Mitzrayim, the whole idea of Mitzrayim, it is something, not just a physical place. It's more than a physical place. I want to take you just to one part. In the end of the parashah, they talk about Egla Arufa. It's talking about if you found a dead body between two cities, and you don't know who killed that person. You measure from the belly button, some people say different opinion, the distance to the closest city. And once you, let's say here it will be 5 miles, here will be on the left 4.5 miles. You bring the elderly, you bring the old people from that town, and they have to admit that they didn't kill that person. Yadenu lo shafcha et adam hazeh. They have to stand in front of the body, and after they slaughter a female calf, okay, and they say, Yadenu lo shafcha et adam hazeh. Our hand didn't spill that blood. Why? Why? Because as a king and queen, there is 3 levels to be king and queen. One level, definitely not king and queen, is called oblivious. No idea, I'm not responsible, it's not my problem. Oblivious. Second level, responsible. That's a good level already. I'm responsible for what I do wrong. But what my brother and sister do wrong, not my problem. The Torah wants you to be more than that. The Torah wants you to be like what it says in Masechet Chagiga, En mosrim sitre Torah, ela lemi shelibo doeg. The Torah wants you to be a real king, a real queen. De'aga it's called. De'aga. No coincidence, De'aga is the same gematria as Ahava. Love and caring is the same level, gematria in Hebrew. You gotta care. What is to care? To care is to watch all your brother and sister, how they doing. Are they doing okay? They spill something, it's okay if you clean it. I gave that lecture to the girls in Stern, some of them on vacation in Israel. And I tell them, you know, they have roommate in college, they, what do you call it? Not camp. When you live together with somebody. The dorm. So you live together in the room. And I said, sometimes when the girls do forget something, it's not my problem. It is. It is. You are queen. You are king. Don't be oblivious. Don't be just responsible. You have to go 3rd level. I care. I care for them and I care for me. That's the highest level. What happened? Why we need to slaughter a cow? Look what the Kabbalah is teaching us. From that cow that you slaughter, it will give birth, say the Arizal. I'm going to read to you from the Arizal because it's beautiful. It gives birth to a tolat, to a worm. That worm, you understand worm with my accent? Worm, yes? Worm, not worm room, okay? Okay, I want to make sure that sometimes with my accent, I can confuse you. So it's say that the worm itself, what we call in Hebrew, Rima, is born from that cow, and it's going to find the real killer who killed that person, because they don't know who killed that person. And then that little worm is going inside the body of the killer, and that's how we die. So taking responsibility and care, my friend, is a very serious business. Whatever you do in your life, the way you drive, it's not enough. If you drive the way you want it, what do you think is going to be in the street? Chaos, accident. Why do you think you have view mirrors on right, on your left, in the middle? The way I grew up, just to let you know, we didn't have mirror on the right. That's a luxury. We never, I don't know how old are you, but the mirror on the right was achievement. I hardly had a mirror on my left. You know, I had sometimes on the left, sometimes only in the middle. Used to be shorter mirror. You have on the left, on the right, in the middle. Now we have more. I think we have cameras that show you who's around you. If you have a Tesla, wherever you go, if something is beeping, you know what's going on around you. Totally awareness. That's not oblivious. That's not responsible. That's caring. What if you're going in the LIE and you live in Great Neck? There's traffic. Would you let another person going in front of you? I was in that story. It's a true story, but it might sound an ego. But I have to tell it to you because it's a lesson. I was in the Upper West Side to pick up something from the pharmacy, and behind me was a person who was waiting, but he's very nervous, sweating. Even more than that. I don't know what to do. I'm going to be late for my work. I don't know what to do. I'm going to be late for my work. And I'm thinking to myself, should I tell him now he can go in front of me? Should I wait for my turn and then tell him to go in front of me? I don't know when to tell it to him. So And he kind of come in front of me, look at me, like he give me the sign, like you gotta do it. And I'm wearing yarmulke, which is maritime, those of you know that mitzvah. So I said, why don't you please go in front of me? Okay, you forget to say thank you, but I was happy that I was able to do that mitzvah in that neighborhood. Because wherever you do one mitzvah, that neighborhood at that moment get blessing. The angels come down and bring mercy to that neighborhood. Just to let you know, especially the mitzvah of love the neighbor as thyself. So it's not just for you, it's for the whole neighborhood is being elevated at that moment. Sometimes you got to give up justice for the sake of everybody else. He needed more to go there in front of me. We have to recognize it. So what's going to be for me? So I'm going to be delaying 15 minutes? He needed more than me, those 15 minutes. At that time, no problem. So he came in front of me. He left happy that he was able to get his medicine. He looked very nervous and he needs something very serious at that moment. I didn't know what it was and I don't want to know. It's not my business. Not my business. But what we need to do is a lot of time, you have to care. Forget responsibility. Forget responsibility. Upgrade yourself into level of caring. You offer a chair to someone, don't do it because it's your job. Do it because you care. You offer a tea because you care. You offer food because you care. You talk to someone, don't do it because it's your job, because you care. You welcome your customer into your shop, into whatever you do, because you care. You do it because it's your responsibility. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You cut your achievement enough. You are in oblivious, I don't even want to tell you. This is not even nothing. The Ari said that when a person go to Olam Haba, when a person go to, after he died, to the upper world, those of you know the Masechet Elu Metziot, the idea of what do you do with things that you find in the street? Do you pick it up and give it to the person who lost it? He said when people not care about somebody's lost thing, a gift or something, they don't look for it, which is, you don't have to do it. You don't have to look for it, and you do it anyway. That's how the Creator take care of your soul when you're up there. But when you don't care about nothing, it says that the Creator also said, I can't find the soul. I don't know where is your soul. I'm sorry. Can't find your name on the list. Just understand that it's very important to care. We are not here to do our job. We are here to do other people's job as well. That's our caring. Let me just repeating what we did, and after this I'll let you ask questions, and then we do a short meditation. So what we did today, we start by talking about the whole idea of what you need to behave in Elul. We're going to talk more about it on Thursday. So the whole idea of Elul, not to be too meticulous, not to be angry. Okay? We also talk about Shoftim v'Shotrim b'kol sha'arecha. Sha'arecha, the gate is not only physical gate, it's your 5 senses. The bribe of that 5 senses is they're bribing you to think something that it's not. So be careful. All right? We also mentioned what the Ari talk, Divrei Rivot B'Sharecha, is to be able to have peace between us and other people. Otherwise, we cannot bring the blessing of the Creator to dwell on us. And then to achieve that, we have to think like kings and queens. To achieve that, we have to think like kings and queens. And how do we think like kings and queens? By acting in a way that it's above our level. Don't go back to Egypt and be slave to your little addiction, which is like the scratch, the ravash, like he's talking about. And in the end, we talk about a real king, a real queen is really caring about everything, not just a little responsibility, the little thing. That's not my job. I'm sorry, it's not my job. It's not my room. I'm not going to clean it. Help your brother and sister so the angel can take care of you as well. Any question before we go into a short meditation? Any question? Is everything clear?
I have a question.
Of course, yes, please. What is your name? I like to know everybody's. Oh, we have a mic? Woo! Look at the professional you become. I like this mic. What's the name? Vivian. Vivian.
My name is Vivian, and I am from New York.
Welcome to New York.
You said that Yetziat Mitzrayim,
Yes.
it's also for us as a Jew people, that we were addicted to some
Yes.
the food and everything like that. It's not mentioned almost anywhere,
Yes.
only to show us all this happens and all these 10 plagues were mostly for Paro to show him who was the God. So why we mention that about us? That's it was mostly because of our food in Mitzrayim and our addiction.
It's
And my-
issue is the food.
Yeah, I know, understand. I mean, our state of mind that we had
Yeah.
in Egypt.
Yeah.
They didn't suffer, this Jewish? They were not slave really there?
Very good question. Very good question. Well, try to go back to your school before Kita Aleph, before the first time you hear this story, and try to read the Torah again and find out what has been Homer velevenim. Was it really happen? Yes, it's also happened in that way. But the Torah has 4 levels of understanding. It says, "Ena midrash yotze mide pshuto." What are you talking about? The pshat. The pshat, it's true, because it says Homer velevenim. But when you read according to Kabbalah the story, it gives a different meaning. It gives you a different angle. The Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in Parashat Ba'alotcha, he writes that it's a shame for us to understand the Torah literally. Rabbi Shimon actually used the words exactly. He doesn't speak like that. He says, "Tipach rucho." He said, may the person will die if he read the Torah as it is. That's what Rabbi Shimon said. Yeah, it's very scary, right? So why do you write something like this? Because because it's making God look bad, that he has not a better story to write just about Bilam and about Paro. It seemed like not important story. It seemed like History Channel. If the Torah is Torah Nitzchit, the Torah is eternal Torah, it has to be still give us education for today. What kind of education you will get by reading in a history book about our people in Egypt? You're not going to change you. Okay, Egypt. But if you understand more the meaning of it, what's hide behind the story, then you start understand that there is something that you can do with it on a day-to-day life, how to get out of your own slavery. But of course, for this, we need to study more. So there is the cup, where you put the champagne, and there's the champagne. If you look only to the pshat, to the story, it's like holding a cup. It's still true, but it's not the internal meaning. Everything has internal meaning, pnimiyut, and everything has a chitzoniyut. Chitzoniyut is the story itself, but it's not just the story. There is a meaning to the story, and everything has a meaning. For example, levenim. Where else the word levenim is being mentioned? When they built the Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babel. Said to us the Arizal, those are the same people being reincarnated into Egypt. Why they kill only the boys and not the girls in Egypt? There is meaning to everything. So those are the same people from Dora Mabul. The Ari go to every words. The Zohar go to every word of what is the true meaning of our Torah. And then the Torah become rich, become beautiful. It's almost like to eat food without spices and with spices. So the Zohar, the Kabbalah adds spices to it. It's very nice. Kumin, very nice. It brings the food out. Okay? Thank you. Let's go to meditation because of time. Then I have to go downstairs. All right? Okay. You want to hold it? I like this microphone. Guys, meditation or itbonenut. You can see me, Debbie, okay? Wonderful. Oh, thank you. So, we know that itbonenut, meaning to look into something. So, most of the thing about breathing is when you breathe, it's called avir. Avir is similar to the word or avir. And or meaning light. So there is a light that coming directly from the Ein Sof, from a very high place. It's going to different olamot, it's going to different levels, Adam Kadmon and all this olamot, until it comes into Asiya, until it comes into this level. So it's going to different filter, different idea, and then it comes to our soul, and then it's influenced the body as well. Now, because we're in Shoftim, I would like to take an idea how to take a merciful angels that's surrounding us. Every person has a malach militz yosher. Every person born with an angel that take care of you. From the moment you are born, wherever you go. If you give this angel a reason to help you, meaning you study good Torah, you help each other, you bring peace between people, that angel becomes strong. It's almost like you build him up. He has more muscles, he can help you more, he can give you messages. But if you abuse the power, then the angel becomes small. That's what Dari explained, until the angel waiting for you. So we are mechayim oto. We are the one who are pump the angel. So today, those of you who never did it, I want you to meet your guardian angel, and I want you to take you on a journey. Usually that journey is supposed to take half an hour. We don't have that much time, so we do 7 minutes. But I give you the short version of it. Hopefully, you will be able to do it at home alone. Okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to sit comfortable, as you wish. Doesn't matter how you sit. Just focus first on your breathing. Make sure you have a smile on your face. It's activating a different level of energy. Do not let the lips go back to a sadness face. Make sure the lips going to the side with a smile. And I want you to see yourself with your imagination, badimion, in a place where you feel safe. A place that has running water there. It can be a river, it can be ocean, lake, whatever that make you happy. A place where there is water and you feel comfortable. I want you to see yourself standing. And now I want you to imagine a way to cross that lake, that sea, that ocean, from one piece of the land to another piece of land. If you're in the ocean, maybe there is an island there. Maybe there is a piece of land not too far. But I want you slowly, slowly to cross that water from one side to another. Focus on your breathing and use all your imagination to make it happen. Remember, the mind doesn't have a limitation, it's keter. You can jump even and go to the other place. You can fly, you can use a boat, whatever it is that's helping you to cross. I want you to be able to feel the breathing of yourself. I want you to feel the wind. And slowly, slowly cross that water to the other side. When you get to the other side, I want you to see a cave. That cave has light that coming through from the entrance and also from a hole that's above that. I want you to walk into that cave slowly, slowly. Do not rush, please. Turn right. Inside the cave, turn right again. And in the end of that little tunnel, turn left. There is a room there. I want you to sit there and focus on your breathing. While you're calling up your malach, your guardian angel, I want you to feel within your body and soul respect and gratitude for that energy coming to visit you and guiding you. Prepare a question in a style of one question only, please, and ask something about your life. One question only. Please, don't worry if you think this is your mind to give you the answer, as the Ari teacher Rabbi Chaim Vital. Don't worry if you hear only your voice and not your angel voice. Just be there and ask question. You can ask, I need to be guided on this or that matter. Choose one area that you need to be guided on and ask that question clearly. But remember, with yirah, with an awe, with respect, and with gratitude. The first answer you're going to get, it's a true answer. Do not try to change it. It's a real answer, it's the first answer you got. You have gratitude in your heart, you keep the smile on your face, then you stand up, say thank you to your inner force of guardian angel, and get out of that room, turn right, the end of the tunnel, turn left, and then turn left again. In front of you there is water that you cross. You did well. Above you, you can hear birds that are chirping this time. Find your way back to the land. And when you get to the other side, remember the message that you got. Respect it, have gratitude, and think about it later. From this point on, every time that you need to know, you need help, remember that short meditation I did with you, and do it at home about 25 minutes long, so you can connect to your inner soul. You can inhale and exhale as deep as you can, and slowly, slowly open your eyes. Yofi. Very good. Very proud of you. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It's amazing.